Hi, this is Clay McKinney, developer on-ramp, and so far we have learned about 25 tags or so, and we need to do a review and make ourselves a cheat sheet. So this will be a little bit longer video, but we're going to make a list of the tags that we know, and it's a lot of tags. HTML is, it's not huge, right? All the complicated stuff is in JavaScript and CSS. And there are a lot of tags that are rarely used. These 26 are used a lot. So let's get started. I've got my list over here, and okay, so we need to make a new document. I'll stick it over here. Okay, so the first tag we need to talk about is the doctype HTML tag. That's the first tag in any valid HTML document. So let's go ahead and put that in there. Okay, then every valid HTML document starts with HTML and ends with close HTML. And every valid HTML document has a head and the let's see, we'll close head. It will also have a body, and we'll close body right before we close HTML. And it will have a title, and we will call this HTML tags close title. Okay, now we're going to have so this is, we'll make our top level heading HTML tags close H1. Okay, now I've divided this up into sections over here. You can see these are the structural tags. They're all structural tags, but these are tags that give the entire document its structure. Headings, other block level elements, inline elements, and lists, right? Lists are kind of block level elements too, but they're special, so I made them special. And you know, headings and the other block level, there's a lot of block level elements here, let's face it. Anyway, all right, so those are going to be our sections. So let's see, we'll have an H2 called document structure. H2 called headings. H2 called block level elements. And you know, let's call that general block level elements, so we'll know that we're not excluding the other block level elements we've got here. Okay, general block level elements, inline elements, and I want you guys to be typing all this, right? I mean, your fingers got to get used to this. And H2 inline elements, list elements. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make a template, and then we'll fill these out as fast as we can. I mean, it's going to be a longer video than normal, but I want it to be I want it to be short enough, you know, that you can watch it. All right, so let's make each section have a bulleted list. So we'll make it an unordered list. and it will have a series of list items, and each list item will say the blank tag, defines a blank and is displayed as blank by default in the browser. That's a terrible format. Well, let's see how it works. Okay, so to do our tags, I want to use a inline element called code, which I didn't write on the list, so we're up to 27, I guess. So it'll have code around it, and then in order to write the HTML tags on our screen and make them look like HTML tags instead of being rendered by the browser, we need to escape them. So we're going to say ampersand LT, that's a less than sign, semicolon, and then we will have the tag name here. Then the ampersand greater than will close the tag, and then we'll say close code. So the tag name tag defines a and you know, like if it's an A tag, we would say anchor, you know, so it's like the real name. So and I guess we don't really need to format that. And let's just leave out this displayed by in the browser stuff. It's usually not relevant. Okay, now let's before we make a zillion copies of this, let's look at it and see if it's all right. So I'm going to save that as an HTML file, and we're going to call it HTML tags, right? HTML tags. Okay, and then we're going to have to go find that guy and open it in our browser. Let's see. Oh, wrong folder. Here it is. Okay, so there's our top level element, second level elements, our unordered list, and it looks like a tag name. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, right back at it. Okay. Alright, so let's copy our template. Okay, so the document structure, it's going to have 5. So let's make 5. Okay, and let's see. Is there a better way? Yeah, that'll be a better way. HTML, head. Title. Okay. Doc type HTML defines a doc type. That doesn't really work. Signals the browser that we have valid, well, valid is yet to be determined, I guess. And we have an HTML file. The HTML tag surrounds the entire document, like that. The head section, it's not really it. Can't really say. Okay, the head element holds all of the metadata about the document. The title tag defines a title for the document for, well, it's the title for the document. That's its structural purpose. But remember, the two ways that it's used is the browser tabs and search engines, and it's probably used for other things too. So we'll just say it's for browser tabs. And the body tag wraps the content of the page of the document. Okay. All right, so we got all those. The HTML tag has a language element that we've been using. This language is English. Let's go ahead and put that in there. And let's see, we also found that we wanted to define the character set with this meta tag. And we probably should talk about that. So let's add another one. The meta tag. The meta tag, we use the one that uses the attribute character set. There's a bunch of other attributes to define other meta tags, so we got to keep this loose. The meta tag defines various metadata about the document. Okay, so that's what the document structure tags are. All right, let's keep going. All right, heading, this will be easy. Headings, let's see, we said there were, okay, so H1, H2, H3, let's see. No need to belabor it. 6th level headline. And of course H7 does not exist. Right? You got to remember that. You got to remember where they stop. Although hardly ever matters. I don't know if I've ever used an H6 in all my life. I think I've gotten as far as an H4. So anyway, they give us these levels of headlines so we can do nesting. We can say this is the biggest thing this page is about, but then we're going to subdivide it. Right? So all very handy. Okay, so that's our document structure and our headings. All right, next thing in this review is general block level elements. Let's see, we've got 5 of them there. P is for paragraph. BR is a line break or a soft return, a new line without a new block. So it's kind of a special case. But it kind of fits in with these other block level elements. It affects the way the block works. And it doesn't have a beginning break tag and an ending break tag around a break. It's just a break that just sits there by itself. Pre defines an area of pre-formatted text, similar to a typewriter. And what I mean by that is when you use the pre-formatted tag, it uses a monospace typeface so that all the characters line up in columns, and you can count spaces and tabs and stuff like that to get everything to line up. So pre-formatted, the pre-tag. Div defines a structural break, division, defines a structural division with no intrinsic meaning. And that isn't defined in any special way by the browser. It's given, usually what people do with divs is they use CSS to make them look different, or JavaScript to make them act different. Okay, div, and the last one is HR. Defines a horizontal rule. A divider, I'm going to say, between blocks. It acts as a block itself, but it's a very, very thin block, right? The browser just renders it as a line across your screen at that spot. And of course, you could use CSS to make it appear differently. All right, so those are general block level elements. Most of these are concerning white space and that sort of thing. Okay, our inline elements, we've got these, looks like there's 7 of them so far. So I'll make a copy, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Strong tag defines strong text. That's kind of redundant. Yeah. Strokes beard. a structurally important text. The important thing is that browsers display as bold. Okay. Oops. So a lot of these tags have this problem of we have to think of them structurally because HTML is a structural language. We can define the default effect of what the browser does by default, but of course that can be overridden by style sheets. And some of these, but all of these have like a very particular thing they're associated with. So it's hard. If you say, well, strong means bold, you're kind of defeating the purpose of making people think in terms of structure, right? I mean, the whole idea they came up with the word strong was so that they could talk about it without making it sound like it's a mere typographical choice, right? So having a hard time putting that into words in a short line, but all right, so let's just stick with that format for these. Okay, so strong, EM is for emphasis. Browsers display as italic. INS defines insert. Browsers display as underline. DEL defines delete. Browsers display as strike through. Sup defines superscript, which there just wasn't another word for that, but you know, superscripted text, the little letters that go up above the line of text, like in E equals MC squared, the 2, right? Superscript, the browser's display as superscript. Same with subscript. Sub defines subscript, and browsers display as subscript. And remember that subscript is kind of like H2O, the 2 goes down below the baseline and it's tiny, right? Subscript. And the last one is span. Defines a meaningless handle for CSS or JavaScript. Sort of like div. Okay. All right, and our list elements, guys, we are almost done. List elements, OL for an ordered list, and by ordered I mean numbered. UL defines an unordered list. And by unordered, I mean bulleted. But notice how ordered is structural. Numbered is just a typographical description, right? So they really do a good job most of the time of giving these tags names that define the structure of the document, just like you're supposed to. And then when you're thinking about typography, you think of that when you're doing CSS, right? So it's really brilliant. It's a brilliant system. And LI defines a list item. Okay, that's all of them. That's the tags that we've done so far. It's exciting. Now let's go look at it in the browser. Let's see. Here we had it before. Let's refresh. Oh, it looks so nice. All of our tags here. Okay. That's your review. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching Developer On-Ramp up to this point. What we have coming up is HTML forms and HTML tables and some other stuff. All right. Thanks.